Nageswara, hi Mabindu. Gitarathan, hi Mohan, hi Sri Hari. Uh, Prasad Siddhant, hi. Madhavi, Durga Prasad, all right. Very good evening, Srinivas. All right, so I think let's quickly recap. Meantime, very good evening, Srinivas. So, meantime, let's other folks join in, and then we can come back to our as usual topic. Yeah, and we have Ashok, Srinivas, Babji, Sagar, okay, Prakash, Gangadhar from Guntur, Nawaz, uh, you know, Sagar, Himabindu, Kiran, Lalita, Madhavi, Manala, Nageswar, Manmat, Mohan, Raghavendra, Niranjan, Palam, Shankar, Prasad, okay, Pratap, Ram, Murli, Mohan Reddy, Srihari, Sridhar, Srikant, Srinivas from US, Satyarani, Prabha from UK, Visakhapatnam, Vasudeva Reddy, Durga Prasad, Kiran Gupta, Raga Gitaratan. All right. Good. So, once again, welcome everyone to the last day of our week 2. So today, actually, do you know that we have almost covering 20 hours of program once we complete the training for today? It's almost 20 hours. Yeah. Glad that couple of members are from Visakhapatnam. I know I was staying that place, the if anyone aware of Akkayapalam. So I was just staying in 2005, I think 4 or 5, I believe. Yeah. Akkayapalam is one of the area in Visakhapatnam. That's a very nice place. Okay. Oh, is it? Prabha, hi. In fact, I was in Akkayapalam. I used to travel Akkayapalam, Maraipalam, Sitampeta, Gajuaka, Nakbanipalam, because, I was working for Visakhapatnam Cooperative Bank. So if you go to the BCV, I remember that chairman, that day, the chairman, now he's the political. That time he was very much kind of old, the political. We have a team actually. We had a team in 2004 and 5. We developed the NPA module, non-performing asset module, locker module. So that code in Visual Basic actually is written by me. You can still find it out the name over there. That was a very nice place, I was just staying opposite to your Akapalam, the Visakhapatnam Cooperative Bank is there. Near to that, there's a sweet stall. I'm not sure the sweet stall, even it is there. Last time when I visited, uh, well, yes, Prabha, you are right. So SKML, I think sweet shop. That's a big, just next to your Visakhapatnam Cooperative Bank. So I used to take the sweets from there, and they knows me. Actually, it's a quite 1 year I stayed there, and almost all branches the online done by. I was the guy who transferred from Delhi. I was my first posting, and then I shifted to Visakhapatnam because there was a request to implement lot of modules for there. Good. Sorry, just on a lighter side, I think it should be SKML. You are right. It looks like, yeah. Uh, that was a nice place for me. When I till today, I also used to take my all family, to Visakhapatnam, RK Beach, Kailasgiri, Arakku, because that was early of my career, uh, in 2004 and 5, almost 13, 14 years before or 15 years before. All right, so welcome back to the last day of week 2 program. I mean, day 5 or day 10, I can say the entire program. Well, so today we will be covering little bit on the organizational process asset. I know this is a kind of, let me share my screen and scope management, activity definition, activity sequencing, critical path. And uh, today we'll talk about, I'll come back to again, some of the things are pending like lead 1 and 2, example 1 and 2 slide. But let's stay on our track. We'll complete, there would be a recap session, so nothing to worry, so that you can always learn all those points. Yeah. Okay, so sharing the screen. Okay, I hope you all can see my screen. Well, one thing I would like to share from my practical experience, couple of point. Yeah. If to let me see how many participants. Okay, we are almost 50 participant. Yeah. Okay. Well, those PMP is will be very much easy if you do a little bit strategy to pass the PMP exam. Basically, PMP requires strategies. It is not like that. Uh, something should not compel you to go and prepare write the exam without actual preparation, right? So make sure that you have a very good strategy in terms of like at least 1.5 month preparation. So I recommend 2.5 month is a is a very good time frame. Why 2.5? Because we all are working professionals, and basically we keep working in our day to day life, every day, and then evening 1 and 2 hours should be enough. I remember in 2005, sorry, 2007 or sorry 8, I passed the PMPs. In 2008 I used to prepare from 9:30, as I said earlier, 9:30 p.m. IST till 1:30 or 1 o'clock. Well, that time we are bachelor, and a lot of other factors are there, right? You become more aggressive early careers, and you start preparing without uh, when you stay alone with friends, of course that things is going to happen. Well, PMPs also require, as I said, that if you can plan from the PMBOK guide. Till now, I have the PMBOK 4 guide with me, and I mentioned that every day I is supposed to complete 2 chapter. Right. So in a week's time, I used to revise the PMBOK guide entirety, right? But I don't read in detail because in detail is not required. You just need to overview. As you remember, I said one point, you need to connect the dot between all the knowledge areas and process group. Today, if somebody asks me, Pratap, I still remember, the integration scope, time, cost, quality, human resource, communication, risk, procurement, stakeholder management. Like it should be by your tongue that this is what, and even somebody asks me ITTO, I can still read it out one by one, all those 47 plus 2, 49. Uh, During my time, it was 47, in fact, 44, right? Or 47, if I'm not wrong. So now it is 49. Well, 5 process group input output. I used to paste those whatever my learning, taking a A4 size paper or little bit bigger paper, make a note of that chart and pasting in the wall of my the room. And every day I used to prepare that. I remember that the calculation sheet, which I will share you towards the end. Why towards the end? Because that will add more advantage rather than sharing early into the system. Yeah. Please make a note. If I miss not sharing those input output or one pager, please connect me or connect Rajendra, Kiran, or anyone just to remind me for that calculation sheet. Yeah. So I have remembered starting from plant value, actual cost, CPI, SPI, IRR, BCWP, BCWS, all sort of things, whatever we have calculated, all calculation I memorized on that time frame. For me, it was a big challenge because I was not a project manager at that time, and I was early in my career. So, matlab, learning in that time was, so I strategized 2 hours, almost 2 to 3 hours for 3 to 4 weeks I used to read. I remember I took almost 2 years, sorry, 2 month, 2 hours per day, roughly. And sometime Saturday and Sunday, I used to prepare for the simulation exam. The simulation exam, when I say I prepared for 3000 plus questions, and my success for the PMP with a very good color, right? The above expectations, couple of meet expectations, and only because of my question set preparations. Whenever preparing the question, I didn't remember the question and answer. I tried to understand what is the concept behind the questions, and then what is that answers, right? So the more you practice, the more clarity you will get it. So keep doing that. I think that would be definitely. Well, another point is that whatever you are going to learn in the PMP, do not expect that you will be utilizing the 100% in your real time job. No, that is one of the, I mean, it's like out of the scope. I would like to say that not all will be applicable in your real time scenarios, but yes, all will be applicable for your examination point of views. Organization have the template. You no need to do anything. Organization have the Microsoft Project Planner tool, MPP tool, or any other project management tool. You even not need to calculate anything. They have the template, they have the calculation set, they have the tool, everything will, but what makes sense that the tag of the PMP, project manager, project management professionals, PMPs, yeah. So not all of them will be applicable in your day-to-day real-time scenarios. For good project managers should be very strong in the Excel sheet. That is one offline message, because uh, sometime what happened, you need to have a very quick calculation of the data, reporting, structures, metrics. Yeah. So make sure that you collect that, keep it with you, and learn those metrics to be a good project manager. To be a good project manager, please remember, the more louder you are, the more successful you are. Louder, as I said, hope you remember the statement which I gave. Louder means not shouting. So louder means the way you talk, the way you convince the stakeholder, the way you work with the different stakeholders. Like if you just pull me and throw in front of a CIO and CXO, I know what to be done for that guy, the CIO and CXO. If you drop me in front of a junior developers, 1 and 2 year of experience, I know what to take and how to talk. So being as a good project manager, you need to make sure that the empathetic, as I said, or the good contextual knowledge, yeah, I'm like surrounding the emotion of people, the weakness of your team, and also do not forget the political dimension or the dynamics surrounding your product or the project, your organizational influences. Today we are going to talk about that organizational influence, organizational dynamics, all sort of things. We learned the critical path method, but basically, do you know that you no need to even manually prepare the critical path method? Because in the Gantt chart, in the Microsoft Project Planner, it will automatically show you the critical path. You just need to put the data in the correct option, finish to start, start to finish, activity, activity sequencing, and activity time. Then you are done. The rest will be calculated automatically. Even the baseline of the project in the Microsoft Project Planner, they calculate it very well. Well, so this is another contextual which I want to do that. And then of course, one thing I would like to say is a good communication skill is not mandatory to be a good project manager. If I want to talk about, few people talk in pronunciation, which is not required in Indian culture, which I learned it. But if you want to have a very good contextual knowledge or the good, the command over your subject line, you can be a very good project manager. Yeah. Well, you should also know that the work-life balance, how to work under a pressure. Yeah. So one example, I used to work with as a program manager for a Hewlett Packard program. Yeah, one of the very big healthcare domain. So I used to complete my meeting at around 10:30 or 11 p.m. and there would be another meeting with US stakeholder morning 5 o'clock. So almost 11 by 12. I used to hit the bed. And then what I mean to say is that, that how to manage those, the political, the work-life balance, manage your, maintain your team. The another aspect of a good project manager, the KPIs, the governance, the metrics, and the techniques you should apply for your product project, starting from your people management, resource management, your budget management, right? The cost including your profit and all. And say for example, if it's a fixed bid price project where you wanted to develop in a kind of fixed contract has given to you and you want to deliver your best, yeah. So people management, cost and budget management, your communications. Communication is a big word. Communication is not what I talk, what I pronounce, whether my UK accent or is it a kind of US accent. It list matters to the other stakeholder, those who are in a very good kind of understanding or the senior level of understanding in the matured positions. For them it's not an important point. For them what's important is that how smoothly you are delivering the project with a good communication. So communication can be in the written skill, in your communication skill, be loud and clear. Do not hesitate, all the stakeholder meeting, governance meeting and all, to raise your point, to share the metrics. Even do not buy that if someone will not subscribe my thought, or someone may not subscribe or like my ideas, right? So being a good project manager, you need to take care all sort of organizational influences. Well, coming back to the point which we need to discuss today is organizational influences project life cycle, which I actually uh, couldn't complete. Yeah. All right. So let's not talk about the detail. So when one of my project, when I was a kind of the project manager for one of the product or the project insurance domain. So one of the client was actually from Australia, one team, New Zealand, another team, and Brisbane, right? So these are the team, Brisbane, Sydney, Australia, New Zealand. It's a kind of the insurance domain, right? So there's a leading insurance domain in Australia. So, so what we need to do is basically whenever we work with them, uh, I think there is a huge cultural difference between what we work at India and how do you work at US, Singapore, and I mean, it's like the Australia, New Zealand, or any Europe countries. I got a chance to work with one of the, the top insurance company. Like we have SBI Life Insurance. So in Finland, we have a very top insurance companies. Well, the cultural difference was that I have remembered that when I was working with a customer place, and the I'm like the cultural difference is that whenever some meeting is happening, or it happens, like basically what happened, we will be at sitting at Finland office, right? So a couple of team and everyone. So the talk or the most of the discussions and most of the kind of the discussion is happening from the team sitting at Bangalore, Chennai, and Hyderabad. But if you see the cultural difference, if you see the other side, like when I work with the Finland team or Europe team, or the kind of the Toulouse France team and all, so I saw one thing, that they're very cool. Basically, they are not overlapping. They have a very good personal life, and for like they don't work for 12 hours. Correct me if I'm wrong. They come early into the system. Like uh, I've seen that by 8 o'clock everyone should be at office, yeah, and by four they leave it. Even after that they don't work at office, yeah, not at home as well. Number one. The number two is that the cultural difference says that they have a very good structure where I mean, like they do not take more work beyond the limitations, right? So work life balance is required. So organizational influence, sometime what happen as a project manager, you should also be aware of the multicultural, the kind of the dimension of an organization sitting, where the team's members are sitting spread across multiple geographies. Well, so what you should do, how to synchronize when the team is the distributed? You, for every project, should have some kind of common mission and vision and statement, right? Or the expectations. So for this is known as the kickoff or the project charter. Matlab during kickoff, we go through the project charter. We discuss about who is the project manager, what are the roles, responsibilities, what are the policies, what are the procedures, and what are the quality metrics, what are the risk tolerance. So all sort of things to be discussed early into the system. Well, uh, what I mean to say is that being a project manager, it is highly required that you also aware of what are the organizational influences, right? So that makes more sense. Okay. KPIs, key performance indicator or index, you can say. Key performance indicator is nothing but your metrics. Or in very simple term, Mohan, it is the report. Yeah. Uh, like like Rajender, Kiran, or the team stakeholder, they ask for the daily attendance report. So why they should do that? What is the necessity of for them? Because for Rajender and Mohan, it is most important that they need to calculate or to see which people has collected or joined for the entire 35 hours program, right? So for them, this is the metrics or the KPIs. Hmm? So this is not to just to measure someone else efficiencies always, but yes, that is also one of the point. Yeah. Yes, Gangadhar, job roles are well defined. Yes, and they respect it. Yeah, they mean it, they understand it, and then utilize it. Yeah, so they made a very clear cut, the line between personal life and the job life, right? So they made it very clear. All right, so organizational influences, what we need to do, like you need to understand that whenever you start communicating, you should also know that what are the etiquettes of the email communications. Yeah, say for example, you should have the subject line, and you should have the problem statement. You should have the ETA, expected time to accomplishment, or some kind of solution you are looking at it. Who are the owner? Say for example, whenever uh, if I write an email or queries, then I not only come up with the risk item as a project manager, but also I come up with, or I take the collect the input from the team that what is the risk item and who, with whom we are dependent on, which is basically who is owning it, right? So who is owning it, and the third point is that by when we are looking at it, which is nothing but your ETA, right? And what are the, like if you're coming back with a problem statement, you should also provide the solution, right? So this is what I'm looking at it. I'm dependent on ABC, and by tomorrow I should get this information. So this is what the crystal communication you should to do that. Electronic way of communication, whether email, the video conferencing, web conference, uh, which makes more sense. Nowadays, I'm pretty sure due to COVID, the situation has changed a lot, and there are a lot of things done. I mean, like online, when the team are all are virtually connected, starting from your prime minister of a country, or the minister of a country, or president of a country, till the other side, or the other member, or a kind of a developer or any other professions. Everyone is now connected through globally through online approach, right? So you should be very strong understanding how the organization communicate with each other. So that is coming under the communication plan. Well, we already discussed that if you are joining an organizations, the best part is to understand that whether you are going to join in a functional organization, or is it a project based or project driven organization, or it's a 50-50, like either functional or projectized or in middle. If it is more towards matrix organizations like in functional, then it is a kind of, I can say, balance means in between, what to say, like functional and projectized, right? So if it is a matrix, weak matrix means where you can say that either it has gone to more towards the project management and less toward the functional. Strong matrix, like it depends, either also reverse can be done, but it depends on how you are utilizing and using the organizational cultures. Good. As a project manager, you should aware of that. Now, this is the slide which, but this is the old one which I've taken, but I like this one. This is the same diagram is available, and it has not changed either in the latest version as well. It is remain the same. Functional, projectized, functional, weak matrix, and then the strong matrix. Strong matrix is basically more aligned toward the project. Weak matrix is more aligned to the functional, and rest are in middle. Well, in the functional, the project management authority is very low and very high in the project organizations. Project budget, who manage the project budget in a functional organization? It basically your product owner, your product manager, your functional manager, right? So they take care of the budget. But if it is a projectized, where you are running a project and your project owner, your project manager need to manage the budget as well. So that's how you can find it out. So well, you just need to remember that functional weak matrix, projectized strong matrix, and then the matrix, right? So project manager role is sometime part-time or under the functional manager. But if you see in the projectized, it is a full time. Even in the strong matrix, it is a full time, including your balanced matrix. Yeah. Well, any questions on this slide? I think you can expect one and two questions from the functional organizations and the projectized or the matrix organizations. Yeah. So if you have any queries and questions, feel free to let me know. And well, so this is what we discussed in another slide, that what is a functional, by the way, organizations. Say for example, we have a finance department, marketing department, quality, operational, and human resource department. So head of the department is running one function. So under that finance, we have a finance manager, multiple finance executive, right? So this is one vertical. Under marketing head, we have a marketing manager, marketing executives. Under quality, we have either one or multiple quality manager and multiple quality executives. So all this is known as the functional organization, where the company or the organization are broken or divided, or the segregated into the function wise. Like this, the finance is another vertical, marketing is another business unit, quality, I can say business unit or business domain or whatever you can call it, right? So this is known as the functional organizations. So forget, this is the horizontal court they are doing, like project, for the project coordination, everyone need to give the input, right? Horizontally they are taking the input, not from one vertical, because one project has to go through finance, marketing, there should be some quality work, there should be some operation, like the operation, any operational activities like compliance, the security, some kind of operations like the auditing process, some kind of the so a lot of operation executives are also there, like even the going to the cloud, or automatically into DevOps team, it can be the operational part. Well, so organizational influences, so you need to understand that where do you stand? Is it you are in a functional organization or you are in a projectized organization? Now, in a projectized organization, what will happen, that we basically as a organizations, we define like we have the multiple program, project, or the solution managers, and they drive the entire output. Basically, under one project manager, we have a quality people working. The finance team might be helping, or the project manager may take input from the shared service, which is known as the project manager of project management office, PMO. Well, so this is known as the projectized, because everything is driven based on the project, not based on the department wise, like finance, marketing, quality, operations. So this is the department wise or the functional wise. So this is known as the functional organizations. But if it is a project driven, then this would be known as projectized organizations. Yeah. All right. Now, if I want to start a business, what should I create for the first time? Shall I start directly with a projectized organizations? You all can, suppose now you are given a chance to start a business, any type of business you are interested in, right? If you want to uh, create a boutique, if you want to do some kind of IT company, if you want to do some kind of construction companies, if you want to do the farming business, or if you want to do some kind of uh, the kind of factory related, the so my questions to all of you is that what is your first thing, that whether would you be preferring to go define, design the organization as a functional organization, or you start with uh, the projectized or anything else? Like, what do you think? What would be the right option to start with? Feel free to chat me and then chat in the box and then do let me know. Yeah. Open project based. Okay. Prabha, it is projectized, mixed organization, functional organization. Okay, how about other? Like we have 4 and 5 messages. The question is, if you are given a chance to start a project, would you start implementing the projectized, or would you implement functional or anything else? Okay, Ram is functional, Srini is functional. Um, Apita 36, okay. Functional, Hari, Mohanes, okay. Prakash, functional. Prabha, first we need to take the organization structure and then projectized, okay. Um, functional, mixed org, okay. Okay, Gopi is project. Raghavendra, being a project manager, I prefer, uh, you prefer projectized. Okay, and being as a businessman, you are the sponsor, you are the project manager, you are owning everything, and you don't have the manpower of 100 people to manage your project. So what do you think, Raghavendra? Yeah. Should be mixed. Okay. Gangadhar. Okay. 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 So now I'll give you my answer. Actually, there are two approach. If you are starting a business, if you are starting a business, it is my opinion. So please, considering that you and me, if you start a business, we need to think the customer base first and then start catering those customer base, right? Number one, the first criteria is that I need to think about my who could be my customer, or with whom I am aware of that they will do some business with me, or they will provide some kind of work to me, and we start the development or delivering the requirement to them or the product to them. Now, during this process, basically, whenever you are very much clear about that with whom you are going to target, so if you are starting a business, in my opinion, that if you start today, if I want to start, like say for example, I will create a finance head, I will create a marketing team, I will create a quality team, operation team, and almost all done. But suppose there are no customer. I'm saying this is good, but if I'm starting a business, you and me, so what should we do now? Because if you create this vertical, but this vertical is basically not the output we are providing, this is from the kind of uh, the different vertical or the different enablement or the enablers, or probably I can say different aspect which should be helping the project or the output to deliver it, right? So for example, if I have I don't want to create functional head, marketing head without having any project. All right. Now, whenever you start a project, so the best approach, it is even not the mixed one, because every business started, whoever is starting the business, they knows the customer base, they knows that what is the potential. Without knowing the potential, and if I jump into the business, I have to sit on silos on for at least years together. So the best approach is in the organizations or you have to start a business, is that think about a projectized organization. And once you stable with the project, one project, two project, multiple project, 50 project, 100 project, then you go back to your, you know what, uh, to your, basically, it is my opinion. So this is the functional one. And the journey from projectized as a new entrepreneur, I think about my project, what I want to deliver, what is my output. I don't, because I can do the marketing, I can do myself the rest of the stuff. Plus, I will hire one and two or three multiple member for the development, right? So you think about the project, customer, deliver the project, but your end goal is that to be a very good structured. You can also plan for a functional organizations. Yeah. Okay. During the journey from prioritized to functional to be done through the hybrid model, which is nothing but the matrix organizations. Well, please remember one more thing. Even if you are, say, for example, Joho Corporation, right? The head who created the kind of the tool, CRM tool, lot of other tools, even that is was a project. Basically, they started with a small project of catering the calculations for a the low the serving the business team. So start. It's my suggestion that start with the projectized, because that will keep generate your revenues. And whenever you settle in the multiple project, so you create on the top another layer which is known as the functional organizations. Yeah. Okay, that's good. Now, if you go to the Airbus have a multiple functional unit. We don't call only functional. Suppose they will come the turbine, they will come the cockpit, they will call the flight simulation model, right? And then the flight air compressor techniques. So a lot of things. So that is also becoming the functional. Functional is not only the finance, marketing, quality, or the operation wise. I'm like the activities, right? But also to be done the the tangible output one project wise as well. So you need to start with project, then move to the organizational influences, which sorry the uh, uh, functional organization, from projectized to functional organizations. Okay, I hope you are clear that. So if somebody say that what you want to start with, always say that we prefer to be into the projectized, because that's my starting point, and then I will synchronize and create the product. Don't you think so? Even you, before you became a product company, Atlassian or Jira tool, for example, or any other tool, you can say the cloud tool. Don't you think so? That was a project, that was a small pilot project, that was a small delivery team, there was a small, the product management team. There are 1 and 2 project managers. So everything started with that aspect. Yeah. Okay. Um, any queries and questions? Anything I need to discuss, team? Please help me out. Yeah. If you have any queries, do not hesitate to ask me so that I can help you out. Okay, we have, should be mixed or else functional. Okay, I hope you know. Initial stage projectize is more effective, correct, Upender, because with less resource for the monitoring and used. Once you generate the revenues, right? Once you generate the revenues, it is correct. You are right, Upender. So that would be the better approach. Yes. Anything else to be discussed? Good. All right. So let's come back. Come out of this, and now you are clear about organizational the structure. Through under organizational influences, you are clear on organizational structure. We'll not come back to this slide again, but we'll keep moving with a lot of other details. Okay. Uh, Organizational process asset. What are the organizational process asset? Basically, if I'm buying gold, don't you think so that becoming my asset, not the liabilities? Yeah. If I'm buying a house with loan, that would be not an asset unless and until I clear the, secure the apartment or the building or something. Yeah. So that's still under the liabilities. Similarly, organizational process asset, which is to be owned by the organization, and which is the copyright, proprietaries, intellectual properties, all can be considered as the organizational asset, which is coming under knowledge base. Your IP, your copyright, your the documents, your new learning, your understanding, your capabilities, capability in terms of team are coming under your corporate knowledge base. There are something known as the process and procedure. For example, if my company is CMMI 5, if I'm ISO 9001, whatever there are multiple certificate. So that is actually, that is also the asset, but based on the process and the procedures, that also to be evaluated that you are following certain things, right? So that is how the process and procedures. Well, organizational process asset example. Okay, before that, we have certain things to also consider: the environmental factors. What are the environmental factors? For example, the political climate. You know, if I would like to go do the business in Jammu and Kashmir during 370 articles, yeah, is it possible that where the political climate is not correct, yeah, so in Jammu and Kashmir, for example, yeah, so then you need to also consider your political. If I want to talk to, the if Pakistan want to talk to German to create a data center over there, right? So then there should be some political discussion. There should be some common agreement, and there should be the kind of the leadership, communications, and everything. Yeah. So well, so political climate, your communication channel, established communication channel, your stakeholder risk tolerance. What is your risk tolerance? Basically, if you deliver me the product with 10 defect, I can accept the product. 11 defect, still I can accept. But the moment it is crossing 15 defect for the entire product, I will not accept the product. So my risk tolerance is says that how much risk I can take it. Sometimes risk tolerance and risk appetite, right? So risk tolerance and risk appetite, there would be, you may get it, right? Risk on the risk chapter, right? Risk management chapter. I'll talk on that. We have a dialogue, which is also known as the risk register in project management. Yeah. Any idea anyone knows about what is the difference between risk appetite and risk tolerance? What is a risk appetite? Okay, I want to start a business which is in the cloud. I want to go to deliver something unique things on the cloud so that the PMPs people can go to the cloud and learn, check their progress on day-to-day basis, and this application will monitor your everyday progress towards your PMPs. This cloud application will help you to track your simulation score. This will calculate your kind of what is your the areas where you are strong and your weak areas for the PMP exam. Now if I want to do that to go to the cloud, then I know that I will go to the cloud, and I'm planning to take a risk, because the moment I want to take a data center, and if I want to make it availability zones should be into the multiple countries, I know I'm spending a lot of money. So my risk appetite is that uh, I to achieve the success, to achieve that my product will go to the cloud visible to everyone globally, then I must take some kind of risk. So to accept the success, to accept the missions, I need to also accept, I should be ready to accept the risk. So during this process, this is known as the risk appetite. Matlab, you are ready and you are willing to take the risk. If the product goes fail, then I lose a lot of money. Another example, casino, right? uh, I never played casino, but yes, I saw in the movies. Even my friends, they went multiple times in US. They go to casino, right? They invest some, or they put some money over there. It's a gamble. Well, in that gamble, whenever you play, so what you do, you put all the money. Like say, for example, I'm using 10 lakh rupees. Yeah, I know that that if you lose, then you are losing very badly. All this amount has gone, and if you are winning like anything. Now, what are the mindset those gamblers? They are not planning for the risk tolerance. The gambler mindset is the risk appetite, because they want to get the money success, and hence they kind of, it's a kind of, they feel that to be success in the gamble, they need to take the risk, and they are willing to take the risk. So that is becoming your risk appetite. Now, what is a risk tolerance? Risk appetite is to get the success, accept the risk, willing to take the risk appetite. Now, risk tolerance is a little bit different term. Okay, what is a risk tolerance? For example, you deliver me the product and the project, and you know, I'm going to the cloud. I'm ready to spend around 10K or 1 million USD. I know I'm willing to take that risk. That is my risk appetite. But during the process, whenever you deliver me the product, going to the cloud, then make sure that you do not deliver me a defective product. I can only accept this product if there are 10 defect. But if it is more than 15 or 20 defect, or the defect density is high, then I will not be able to accept the product. That is the risk tolerance. Risk tolerance is nothing but it is a variation on the performance level. It even after the product is delivery is completed, like the which is non-conformance with the acceptance criteria, non-conformance with the business logic, but still you are accepting it. So that is becoming, that is becoming your, what do you say, the risk tolerance. Yeah. Okay, so you just need to remember that one is that risk appetite is which is not in your control. You cannot control, like you are taking the risk appetite. I'm gambling the money. I do not know what will happen. But risk tolerance, I know if I want to develop a product, I may get 10 and 20 error. I may get the cloud non-conformance. I may get some failure in the subscription. All sort of things will happen, right? So risk appetite and risk tolerance. Risk tolerance is basically the variance in the desired output, or which you should take absorb into the system. Risk appetite is nothing but you are ready to take any kind of situation may happen, but you have to accept that to move ahead. Yeah. So that's how the difference between risk tolerance and risk appetite. Any questions on the risk tolerance and risk appetite? I have multiple answers, but yeah. Okay. Amount of risk and are willing to accept, Nazir. Okay. Is it the amount of risk and are willing to accept? Is it risk tolerance or risk appetite? Yeah, Nazir. Okay. Good. So you mean to say that's okay? The amount of risk. No, no, it is actually, see, risk, it should be the risk tolerance, because the moment you are saying the amount of risk, uh, the moment you put that word, Najir, that how much amount or the number of risk I'm willing to accept, that is becoming risk tolerance. Risk appetite means like you are going to gamble, for example. Do you know that how much you will lose the money? Like, or do you know that, are you confident that you are 100% lose? Or do you know that I'll only lose 25%? No, you don't know that anything. What makes can happen? You may lose everything or you may win everything and then you come back and then that's all done. Right? We'll discuss. This is what the risk tolerance is, basically number of risk which you can accept, or the amount of or the number of risk which you can accept to stay with it. Now, during COVID-19, we are following the risk tolerance actually. We are not risk appetite. Risk appetite means like, okay, anyway, I'll go outside, I'll move, and then, let it, the risk may or may happen. No, but basically everyone knows that the risk tolerance for COVID-19 uh, is as such. If I go to any hotspot, or if I come in contact, if I do not do sanitization, if I do not wear the mask, you know, uh, if I don't do that, then I'm ready to take the risk. So that is my risk tolerance level. Madhavi, right? Risk appetite is my capacity to um, handle risk. Okay, perfect. You're feeling. Risk tolerance is the amount of risk I can accept. Yeah, the maximum, the variance which you can accept. Now for the COVID-19, we all are in the risk tolerance level, because maximum what we can do, like if you get a sore throat, we'll get a cold, we'll get a fever, we can accept that, right? We can keep moving on that. The number of or the amount of tolerance, the amount of the risk I can accept is the risk tolerance, right? Tolerating how much. If you scold me 5 times, I can tolerate. If you scold me for 6 times, I can tolerate. And if you scold me 10 times, I can tolerate. But if you slap me 1 time, I cannot tolerate. So that is my risk tolerance. That the how many, what is the number of degree or the number of point you can wait and see, right? Risk tolerance. But risk appetite is that you are willing to take the risk to get something. Yeah, your capability, as you said, Madhavi, right? Your capability to handle the risk. I'm traveling with my family, and if if I come across to any COVID positive, then I will accept that and I'll be COVID positive, right? That is my risk appetite. If I want, I'm accepting and I'm moving ahead. All right. Okay. So enterprise environmental factors also to be discussed. So can someone help me out from your current organization point? Give me one and two your enterprise environmental factors, like which you think that inside your organizations, your organizational your enterprise level environment can influence your product or the project. Any one and two, your real time, starting from your uh, any domain. You are into the production, you are into the BPOs, you are into development, you are into non-IT construction, everything. Yeah, give me one and two your enterprise environmental factors which you think that will impact your project directly or indirectly. That is also fine. Can someone keep writing? I want to see that what are the environmental, enterprise environmental. Please remember, this is not an environmental factors. This is enterprise level environmental factors. I want to hear if you could share one and two items or the environmental factors which you think may impact. Okay, Madhavi, you wrote that BPO industries, shift hours. Okay, that is also the correct. BPO industries, like if you are going for multiple shift, overlapping shift, this is also one of the environmental factors. Okay, good. It can be manual approval. Okay, manual approval. Does it come under the? I think it comes under the process, Gangadhar. Like manual approval comes under the process. Yeah. Now you can say that delayed. Yes, you can say that because lot of approval delaying the project, which is, as you said, delay the project from the business head. Like your business head is taking multiple days. Yeah, absolutely. Yes, Gangadhar. Okay, Satyarani, like conditional go to next phase. Conditional go to next phase. You mean to say like it comes under, uh, I mean, like, how do you feel that the conditional go to the next phase would be the environmental factors? Meantime, yes, Himabendu, you are right. Federal laws between the different countries. Yeah. If I want to go to the create a data center in China, I cannot do that. Do you know that? If I want to go and put Microsoft want to give some create a data center in German, they cannot do that. They have to take the special permission, especially German and China. They need to have a special tie up with the local partner, and then you will be allowed to have your own data center there. So federal laws between the different countries makes sense. That is an enterprise environmental factors. Yes, when employees are allowed to lot of leaves, right? That is also the environmental factor because you do not have any and in this environment, or the people or the human resource management are not well done, people are taking a lot of risk. Perfect. Satyarani, I will still wait for your conditional go to next phase. Huh? What does it mean? Okay, Gangadhar, we are starting 5G project with support China. Suddenly their company changed. We should not use. Uh, yes, that comes under your political, which is also might be impacting your product and project, right? So absolutely correct, Gangadhar. That also fine. Yes, Prabha, like data privacy and data breach between the organization in 8 different countries, which is the legal aspect of your, or it comes under the kind of geographical distribution of facilities or governance, correct? Due to COVID-19, do work from home forcefully, which is good, isn't it, Rajesh? I don't know, like few people say it's good, few people say it's not good. Uh, Once you used to work from home, you will be used to. Yeah, that's an interesting point. Yeah, true. You are right. Looks like Rajesh is not comfortable on working from home forcefully. Okay. Uh, Stakeholder risk, yes, yes, Prava, correct. Satyarani, yes, stakeholder risk tolerance and give conditional go. Yes, absolutely, because that is also the, like you need to see that what is that risk tolerance level of your all your stakeholders, and based on that, like you accept the product and then the project. Hmm? Like say for example, but if you are in an aerospace domain especially, or if you are in a healthcare domain, there is no room for us for any conditional accept. So why vaccines are not happening? The millions, crores, or globally everyone are affected, right? Why there are so big doctors, the organizations, scientists, researchers still doing a lot of things. Do you know every vaccines, whatever they prepared, has to go through the clinical trial. Without clinical trial cannot be approved. So the similar happening, that this is what one of the point as you said, perfect, very good. Stakeholder risk tolerance and give a conditional go, but only two care aerospace and healthcare, there is no conditional go. They have to go through the entire process, right? So you saw that the vaccine, from Russia got stopped, Sputnik or something, right? So why? Because there were some issues for 1 and 2 patient, not even more. They started getting back pain, and that entire things on halt. Well, very good example you all are giving based on the market condition. Yes, absolutely. Do not, Raghavendra, don't have required software to perform required deliveries. Well, so that comes under the infrastructure part. Perfect. Company policies, Rajesh, you are saying that company policies are very strict. Transparency is less. Without transparencies, yes. In that case, uh, see, policies are strict is always good, but delayed policies, strict policy delaying the product or the project, that is one of the environmental factors. Sometimes what happens, policies are good, strict policy may help you. If it is delaying a project, unjustified, delaying, then yes, that is one good. Very good example. So let's move on. Uh, Brahma Rambika, if we have no direct channel to communicate for required clarifications, high delay in development. Yes, that is also one of the point. Perfect. Excellent. All right. So now you all are clear about the organizational policy, organizational strategy, and a lot of other things. Okay. Um, Now, project stakeholder and the project governance, basically, the project stakeholders, who can be the stakeholders? Uh, if I'm staying in a joint family, who could be my stakeholder? If I'm staying in a joint family, then all my uncle and dad, mom, brothers, sisters, all the kids, all the sons, right? All the relatives of them. So they are becoming my stakeholders. So stakeholder means those who are directly and indirectly associated with your product or the project. If I'm staying in an apartment, then who would be my stakeholders? Apart from that, we have a maintenance manager, we have the sweeping guys or the maintenance guys, right? Cleaning guys. We have the newspaper deliveries guys. So all those are the stakeholders for me to staying in an apartment, yeah, or a rented house, whatever you call it. But those who are directly, indirectly associated, your government organizations, your legal policies. Um, so if I am a farmer, then for me, the stakeholder is the buyer, number one. For me, the stakeholder is who is the plumber or who is providing the water to me. As a farmer, who is providing me the raw materials, seeds, everything. So they are the stakeholders. Well, well, so you need to understand that the stakeholder and governance meeting. Well, I'll tell you that couple of governance meeting which is well happening. I know it is much more theoretical, which you can read, you can do, but a good project manager uh, must bring a good communication channel or collaborations between multiple stakeholder in one common platform. Earlier, as a project and program management, we saw we have a release management, right? So where every quarter we have a meeting with the release manager, go and no go conditions discussions with the release manager. So apart from that, in the governance, we have also the discussion with the stakeholder. What is the how the budget flowing? Is it overrun? Is it under track, under control? Is there any profit are able to get it? So that also need to be considered, right? So what I mean to say is that project governance is the health of the product or the project. Project governance can be with the release management team. Project governance is something similar to that. You should have the buy-in from the PMO, product management, the directors of the companies. Even the project governance is basically to take care of the center of excellence. I mean, like to communicate and discuss with the center of excellences, community of practices, COP, community of practices, COE, center of excellences, right? With the PMO team, project management office. So you need to take care of that. Well, there are multiple project governance can be done for me every week. I used to have the finance and budget plus the progress detail to the senior stakeholder or the senior management. So I follow the RASI model, responsible, accountable, consulted, informed. I follow the dialogue model. I follow the kind of, the roamed model. Yeah. Like for one risk, who is responsible? O means owned. A means accountable, and sorry, result, owned, mitigated, and accepted. I was just giving a wrong information. That risk status can be the result, owned, mitigated, and accepted state, which is also known as, like, you should I'm just typing it here, that you should have the ratio matrix, you should have dir or RAID, right? So you should have roamed techniques and a lot of other as a kind of things you need to take care. Well, governance, weekly governance, like health of the project, health of the budget, right? So that also need to calculate. Then the risk management, I mean, like, this is also on coming under the management. Yeah. Resource and quality can also be considered as the governance. So governance is basically a set of strategical process for enabling other stakeholders to make a decision. Okay, I'll just skip that. Project success, it basically is only possible when you are preparing a baseline, baseline got approved, and you are able to achieve those baseline. Yeah. Okay, project manager role in the project success is pretty simple. We'll not talk on that. We already covered this point. Yeah. Okay, who should be the member of your project directly or indirectly? Some members are full time, some members are part time. And what are the part time? Like, say, for example, if I am borrowing the program manager for a couple of hours, if I'm borrowing architectures, enterprise architecture for 4 hours, if I'm borrowing for the, the, uh, what say, like the building construction front layout, the architecture designer, for 1 and 2 days, they are becoming, part time. But who are the dedicated? Few members who deliver the product and then the project, and they are fully dedicated to deliver the product. I know these are theoretical, but you have to go through that because you may expect the question. This is one of the chapter from PM Work Guide. There are various roles. You have a project management staff. You are a supporting expert. You have a, like, for example, even you're a customer representative, SPOC, special point of contact, end user representative, sellers, your business partners, right? So these are the stakeholders or the part of your project team. Project team can be the member either be full-time or a part-time members. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Madhavi, the question is that what is a toll gate review? Okay. Anyone heard about the phase gate, milestone, the quality gate, anything? Anyone heard about that? And then we'll come back to the toll gate. What is the toll gate and why it is used? Okay. No idea, Madhavi. Like, you never used the toll gate, the milestone, or okay. I'll tell you. I've been to the aerospace domain, and in one of my aerospace client, basically, if you see, if a small change, if I'm planning to do a small change, it has to go to the, say, for example, minimum 9 quality gate, QZ. What is a QZ called as? QZ is nothing but the control point. What is the control point? For example, this is one example, like QZ 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 till QZ 9. If the another point I'll give you the control point is basically, suppose if I'm pretty sure you for example, you take the gulab jamun box, yeah, or the sweet box. So what will happen? Like, we have multiple checkpoint. We first prepare the gulab jamun, then there would be some, it has to go through the test quality, right? Quality is another control point. From quality, it will go for, the rest of the things like packaging, with a proper labeling, with a proper detail, right? That is a control point. And the next control point is the stock maintenance, right? And then the vendor code would be applied, and then it will be distributed to the vendor. So all these points are one milestone for delivering a product or the project, right? So this is known as the toll gate, are nothing but your milestone, your quality gate, your control point, where you find it out whether that product or project are in conformance or in agreement, or whether they're they complying to the certain steps or the certain criterias. So that is known as the toll gate, or sometime you can Acha, by the way, in another simple word, you are taking your car and bike, you find the toll gate, right? So what is a toll gate? It called, what they do actually, that the checkpoint, you slow your car, you have a RFID, you have a, the kind of, they will deduct the money, right? So RFID technology is nothing but the card in our car which you keep, and they will automatically deduct. So similarly, every product or the project have a toll gate, starting from your quality to check, your leveling, your colors, your compliance, security, everything. Like if you're constructing a building, we have a different checkpoint. What is the first checkpoint? Whenever you construct a building, when the pillar which you are putting inside the soil or the below should be dimension thick wise, how much strong based on the weight of the soil, then you decide that this is the number of feet I want to make the foundation ready. So that is one milestone, one toll gate. Once that is done, then you fill up that, and then you second do the chipping and all sort of things and start constructing the pillars. And once pillar, then you construct the, the kind of walls. Once done, then the another milestone is your roof, right? So this is nothing but your milestone, and the toll gate is one, or sometimes it is called as phase gate. Yes, soil checking, yes, absolutely, that is also one point. Good. Yes, for each and every milestone, it is not only the product requirement, because here the milestone, why I took this much of time to give an example, because this milestone not only on related to the product or the project progress. You have a quality progress to check the quality. You have to check whether it is in compliance with the government standard or outlines or not, right? You have to check the colors, you have to check the volume, thickness, you have to check the look and feel, like if you, everything you need to take care, all those are known as the milestone. Quality gate, toll gate, and like based on your plan, are you and that is known as the toll gate review. Yeah. Okay, and the toll gate review, it is nothing but, like you said, toll gate where you pay the money, right? They need to stop the car and then pay, right? That's much you need to understand as of now. What is a toll gate? I hope it is clear. Okay. All right. So project life cycle, very simple. Like, if you see in this diagram from the starting of the project, so the cost will be very minimal at the starting. It will go up towards the middle. As the time goes up, it keep increasing. After certain time, it remain constant. And towards the closure of the project, the cost will get reduced. Why? Because we'll be releasing the resources, we'll be releasing the team members, we'll be releasing the licenses, right? So we do not, even the manpower and everything, we do not consume the more or spend more during the closing phase. So this is known as the project life cycle. Well, till the time project charter creation and the project kickoff, I don't think so we calculate any kind of project finance, because every project budget is to be calculated only after the project kickoff, project start approved, before all expenses goes under the miscellaneous the miscellaneous cost. Why? Because we have to spend with customer, lunch and dinner with customer, discussion with the travel cost, everything, right? You need to consider that. So project life cycle, starting the project and closing the project. In middle, the next step is the organization and planning and preparing. So little bit the cost will go up. During executions, carrying out the work, it will be high. Similarly, please remember, this is the cost life cycle. Yeah. Time increases, the cost increases, but towards the closure, it decline. But the risk of the project are very high starting of your product or the project, but the risk will go down as the time continues. Towards the closure of the project, the risk goes down, but like risk and uncertainty goes down. But remember, if any changes are happening, the cost of the change is very less early into the system, but the cost of change will be very high towards the end of the product or the project. And that is the one of the reason why agile is more successful. Those who are into agile, scrum, kanban, devops, scaled agile, so basically, they They go in an incremental and iterative model, and also they take care of your embracing the change in each and every iteration. Well, having said that, I mean, the cost of change is will be increasing as the project goes toward the closure of the project. If any change coming toward the end of the life cycle, then the rework cost is very high. But early stage of your product or the project, rework cost is very low, right? So that is how the cost. I hope these two diagram you are clear all. If any queries and questions, please feel free to fast tags. Yes, Nageswar, RFID. So that is also known as the RFID technology. Yes, cost of change irrespective of your fixed bid price or the traditional. See, almost all waterfall are the mostly in the fixed bid price or time to market price, right? So time and material and all. So fixed bid price is, you are right, because irrespective of that, even the fixed bid price project, it will uh, the cost of change will increase. Yes. Why cost of change is increasing in the fixed? First of all, in the fixed bid price, uh, you know what you need to deliver, and you are very clear on that. The changes would be coming internal, not by the external. If any changes coming external, that is known as the scope creep, because it's a fixed bid price project and you have agreed with certain requirement. Any new changes coming from customer, that is known as the scope creep. You no need to worry because customer will pay for that and you will get time. But any changes coming because of your internal team development or internal fault by the team members, quality team or development team or construction team, whatever, or the manufacturing team, then that become a lot of cost. Yes, that is a maintenance cost is also the correct Manala Nageswara. Perfect. Yeah. Okay, this is the project lifecycle which you should be aware of that. Well, the next phase is, if somebody asks that, this is the questions which I'm showing in my screen. I hope you all can see that. Well, if somebody says that, how do you define a project phases and what are the typical characteristic of a project phase? Basically, phase can be either sequential or overlapping. Sequential, excuse me, give me a second. Yeah. Okay. Sequential means it is always finished to start. The successor activities will start only after predecessor done. All the sequential activities. Yeah. Overlapping means what? It's a fast track. Like say, for example, if it's a kind of, like say, for example, if in the relay race is a combination of sequential plus overlapping. Like one person keeps running, taking the baton in hand, deliver the baton to the next person. But please remember, sometime what happened, they run parallel together, little bit like 100 200 meters. While one person is running, the other person, the person who is taking the control from the person or the baton control, he also need to run little bit in parallel with the another persons. So one is sequential, where sequential is also the one of the approach for the clarity and transparency purpose. Yeah. Overlapping is basically helps to fast track certain project. I mean, like couple of activities can run parallel together, not always, for some time extent and for some few hours. So sometimes what happens, this overlapping relationship result into the multitasking. Demand multitasking. Multitasking demands little bit risk, right? So risk means like working into uh, multiple things at a time. So overlapping relationship will always, it may increase the risk, sometime rework. But if you go for the sequential relationship phase by phase, then make sure that one thing complete before you start the other wars. Another life cycle is also there, which is known as the predictive life cycle. Yeah, predictive life cycle. And what is a predictive life cycle, by the way? Anyone, uh, if you see in the slide, anyone heard about earlier predictive life cycle or predictive project life cycle? Anything you can say that. Yes. Anyone in your career did you hear about? Okay, Gangadhar, coming back to only if changes involved, then only cost increase. No, I mean Gangadhar, like see, in the fixed bid price project, certain task is given to you, and while delivering, your team delivered a wrong product and output. So who should be responsible for that? You, because it's a fixed bid price project, and then the default defect created by you, then you should fix it. Customer will not pay for that. I mean, like you need to be little bit cautious on that to make sure that there would be less defect or the kind of less. But what will happen in the real time? The Gangadhar, you asked that if you are, uh, you know, I mean, like if the changes are coming from the customer side, irrespective of your fixed bid or the non-fixed bid time to material, so the customer will pay for that. So both the cases, the project budget increase, but when the project budget increase, the first case, customer will not pay for that, and hence your project budget cost is increasing. You are losing or from your savings or your profit, or probably you are losing from the income from the project or the product. So that's what I'm saying. Both the case, either you do the I mean, like you do the problem, or customer comes up with a new requirement. That changes will always involve cost. Well, the another point which we are discussing, welcome Gangadhar. Predictive means project with defined scope and timeline. Very good. Okay, so what does it mean? Let's talk about that. Like predictive life cycle, where basically, uh, or let me give an example. What is the difference, like, or what is the kind of predictive when you say that I'm running a predictive project, or I'm just running a kind of uh, a, what do you say, like not a prescriptive, or predictive. It can also be known as the prescriptive. What is a prescriptive? I'll say that. Okay, like say for example, if you're running a product or the project, and you given a chance that you use the PM bug or the PMP stops, then what you need to know, you need to do that. We have to deliver through initiations, then going through the planning, then going to the monitoring, controlling, and closing phase, right? Initiations, planning, executions, monitoring, controlling, and closing. So this is the life cycle which is the predicted and predictable. Well, so now that's how, if you said it is this predictive life cycle is also known as the traditional model. Well, things are predicted. But the new model, the agile, is not a predictive life cycle. Agile is basically It is evolving. It is an incremental, iterative, evolving, always evolving life cycle. Okay. Now, so predictive can be where it is fully planned upfront. Prediction or the predictive or the forecasted plan which you are going to implement it. The another model of predictive which is less kind of I mean like less planned, more towards kind of incremental and iterative, right? So this is known as predictive. We have another model which is adaptive. Adaptive is nothing but you're embracing the change, which is nothing but your agile model. If somebody asks what is a predictive, it is a typical waterfall model. It is typical the traditional model where the things are predicted. Your V model, your spiral model, your Kokomo estimation model, all are predicted model, means it's a predefined model. Okay, good. Predictive is well calculated. Yes, well researched, perfect, Himabindu. And this is well planned early, anticipating very less change. Yes. If you are expecting the change, then you should go for a mix incremental and iterative model, like plan, do, check, and act. You can have certain flavor of predictive model plus some kind of the hybrid that is known as the hybrid. And if you know that is purely dynamic, there would be a lot of change coming into the system. Then you need to take care of a model which is known as the adaptive model, which is also known as the agile model. Very good. That's clear, Himabindu. I think predictive is waterfall model. Brahma Arambika. Yes, absolutely, you are right. Okay. So then we have another life cycle, which is the iterative and incremental life cycle, which I already said. The incremental and iterative is also known as IID model, double ID, incremental, iterative. And adaptive means what? It is basically you are embracing the change, which is also known in another term is an agile model, adaptive life cycle. So, well, another question. Adaptive does not mean that always agile. Sometimes the degree of adaptabilities. For example, in waterfall also we have a change coming, right? It's a change request, but and we are adapting that. That is also adaptive, but the adaptive is more flexible and change. The degree of changes is more than it is purely agile. The degree of changes are less, then we are adaptive through change control board, CCB, or through change control process. So we just need to remember that. And adaptive is more flexible for change. Correct, you are right. Any other queries and questions? Please feel free. If not, we are done with the slide. All right, so this is the last slide of our, organizational policies. Yeah. Okay. On the last day, I will share you a couple of questions set so that which you can go through that, and if possible, we'll have a very small question set. I'll discuss with Gangadhar and Kiran that what can be done for the team if you just want to take the document or if you want to appear for any examinations. I was planning for a pre and post assessment, but we'll do that. We'll see like how feasible it is. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So let's go back to a couple of other points. Scope has been done. And activity definition we have completed. Activity sequencing also been done. Let me show you. Okay, this is what Okay, this is what we already covered, right? Like say, for example, hope you remembered, collect the requirement, define scope, verify the scope, collecting the requirement, brainstorming, group discussions, Delphi techniques, collecting the requirement, all sort of things has been completed. Well, this is what simple questions, define the scope, acceptance criteria, this has been done, create WBS decompositions, yes, this is what we have covered. Verify the scope, done, simple exam questions, okay. All right, I think this has been done. Yeah, hope you can. Scope management, we have completely done with that. I'm like one slide. We have other slide to be discussed. Activity definitions, yes, that is also the covered, right? So basically, what the activities we need to prepare, precedence diagramming method, PDM. We have the precedence diagramming method, which is also known as activity on node, not activity on arrow. Okay, PDM, finish to start, finish to finish, start to start, start to finish has been done. Lead time means the gap time or how much time it can be accelerated the successor task. That also the discussed. Well, okay, this is also we discussed. I think the task is taking 6 days, and the task B is, I'm like before 2 days it is starting, right? So from fourth day it is starting. So 2 days is the overlap, right? So and that's how it is saying that lead is actually 6 plus 4, right? Because it is 2 days before. I mean, like the entire task is taking 6 days, but it is starting from the fourth day. Uh, I mean, it is 6 day. I'm starting fourth day means I'm taking 2 days overlap, right? So 6 plus total 6 days, 12 days minus 2 days overlap. This is the fourth, starting from fourth days, and hence the entire lead time is 10. That's how I think this is what we discussed. Correct. Lag time, lead time, and okay, lag example of parametric analogous we have given. I hope you have remembered that. I suggest whenever you get time, you can go to that videos. Those videos, I hope you all have received. Yes, project Gantt chart. Yes, I have a chart. Let me show you that as well. But before that, scenario activity sequencing is also completed, which is uh, no, I think couple of things can be discussed here. But okay. Okay, I think we'll cover this now. Yesterday we'll also cover the gut. I remembered you all aware of graphical. Gangadhar, I'll come back to your questions. Yeah, allow me some time so that we'll discuss that. Graphical evaluation review technique, GERT, which we already covered earlier. That what is a gut, and PERT, program evaluations review technique. GUT is also known as the part of your network chart. Yeah. GUT is always less popular than PERT or the critical path method. And what is a GUT use? Like GERT, GUT rule. GUT rule uses nor, or, and, right? These are the three. Nor means alternative, and only one path is possible, or either or. And ends means like all path must be completed. Yeah, so this is what we discussed. I hope you remember that. Yeah, so this is the diagram. Yesterday we spoke about mission, how to do that, you know. Well, um, okay, so one thing we need to discuss, that pot was excuse me, pot was actually developed by the US Navy, and US Navy, they used to calculate how they need to they travel during the war, and from where, what is the route, shortest best possible route. And because of that, the port estimations to used by US Navy. Well, part is also make sure that they identify the time it takes to finish a particular task and activity. Part uses four aspects. Yesterday we spoke: optimistic, pessimistic, and most likely. The calculation is uh, my gut feel that from Bangalore to Goa, I can reach in 10 hours. The best. Optimistic. Pessimistic is it may take 22 hours. Optimistic is 10 hours. Pessimistic is 22 hours. And most likely, or the average, the genuine case is that I would be reaching around 15 hours. So optimistic plus pessimistics plus 4 into most likely divided by 6 is nothing but your the pot chart. So this is more or less, I can show you one small thing. Like say for example, pot. If I want to travel to Visakhapatnam through train A, then there is the possibility that, or by the train, then there is a or by the car, for example, my optimistic, one single example, optimistic, and then probably pessimistic, I can, and then most likely. So optimistic is that, like suppose if I drive everything, there is no rain, then I no need to go slow. If there are no road on the way construction is happening, if the roads are like kind of very good condition, my best possible scenario that I will complete in 10 hours journey. If there are rain is happening, the cloudy weather, and probably the roads are not good, some construction or the block in the roads, then the pessimistic is that, say for example, it will take 22 hours. Most likely, in average, because people travel and they said me that Pratap, you can deliver in 14 hours of time. Sorry, what happened? So what is my pot estimation says that optimistic plus pessimistic plus 4 into most likely, 4 into most likely, and divided by 6. I mean like this total uh, divided by 6. So this is the calculations. So what we need to do, like say for example, 10, and then I equal to 10 plus say like for example 22, which is nothing but your 32 hours, and equal to suppose 4 into most likely, which is nothing but 14, which is 56. So now I want to give that 32 plus, I mean like plus 56 and 88 divided by 6, right? So divided by 6, which is nothing but 14.6, which is 15, or roughly upper specification limit by 15 days is my calculation now, which is this entire process is known as. So best scenario, worst scenario, average scenarios, best plus worst plus 4 into average divided by 6 is nothing but your output is known as the pot estimate. So this is what we discussed. Gangadhar, I'll come back to that, your queries. Yeah. So I just want to make sure that we are completing pot mathematics has been done. Well, float and slack, no need to discuss. Critical path, yesterday we have completed. Lead time, by the way, there are two type of lead time. If you know that customer lead time, and I'm writing here, like we have a customer lead time and we have a system lead time, right? And yesterday we also calculated that the throughput or efficiency of the system. We also calculate PT, which is nothing but processing time. And we also discussed about LT, which is lead time, right? So this is what we already discussed. How about if I ask one questions to one of my, today I would like to discuss with Niranjan P. Niranjan, like, would you like to share me how to calculate the efficiency of a system? Yeah, Niranjan, if you would like to be unmute yourself and help me to understand how to calculate the throughput and efficiency of a system, Niranjan. Yeah. Niranjan P, can you unmute yourself? Is it possible? All right. So meantime, I would like to ask Shankar and yes, Shankar. Shankar, could you be unmute? Shankar and Radhakrishna Mularu. Yeah, could you be unmute? And help me to understand how to calculate the throughput and efficiency of a system. Radhakrishna Molluru and Shankar, PKSM Shankar. Yes. Nope, I can't hear you. All right, so that's fine. Ravi Kiran, would you like to unmute yourself to Ravi Kiran and Sheikh Firoz? How to calculate the efficiency of a system using processing time and lead time. Rajendra, is it team are not able to unmute themselves, or Rajendra and Kiran? Uh, because I think team should be trying. So Ravi Kiran and Sheikh. Okay. Sujata, hi. Sujata T. Kiran, can you try Srihari? Sorry. Okay, Kiran. Okay, Kiran, could you try to Sujata T if we can hear from her about how to calculate the efficiency? Sujata, hi. If you can hear me. Sujata and Krishnan Kisan from UAE, if you could help me to understand. Anyone can be on mute, either Sujata or Krishnan Kisan. Krishna Kisan. All right. Yes, Srihari, you are right. Throughput or the efficiency is nothing but your PT by LT, right? Processing time by lead time. So this is how we should calculate the entire calculation. Perfect. That is a good answer. Okay, so critical path method, fast tracking. What is a fast tracking, by the way? Like sometime what happened, you need to, yesterday we didn't discuss, I believe. The sometime we need to make two or multiple work into the parallel, and that is known as, yes, Sujata, you are right. PT by LT is your efficiencies, right? Processing time by lead time. Now, fast tracking is nothing but, you know, when two and multiple tasks goes in parallel, we are making it a fast tracking. We do not, even it's a finish to start button, sorry, start to start relationship, then I think still we can do some kind of activities in parallel. And when we do the parallel, it is known as a fast tracking. the difference between fast track and crash, right? So that is also, there is, the I mean, like, fast track versus crash, right? So if you know that, so crash is where you are minimizing and crushing the time for the project. Fast track is basically when it is happening in the parallel, you are moving a little bit on a faster speed. And crashing means there are two aspects. Either you somehow negotiate the scope and complete it quickly, or you add the resource into the system. Crashing means add more resource to finish the task in a quicker manner. So what will happen if I want to do some task in parallel? We may expect that some of the quality or some kind of risk may come up. This is the demerits or the cons of your, or the demerits of your, the fast track, because during the fast track it may hamper the quality. Well, when you go for the crashing means like either you try to negotiate some of the scope, outsource the scope, or remove the scope, or sometime you add new resources to complete the work, and that's becoming your crash. Crashing a project required some extra investment, some the cost, supplementary cost to be, or the cost supplement is required, or increased cost. So fast track and crashing both are two different concept. All right, so I hope it is clear. Well, yesterday, this is known as the pot network chart, right? So pot network chart for like 7-month project, which we are discussing now, like 4 plus 3 7, like 3 plus 4 plus 3 7, 3 plus 2 is the 5, right? So we have multiple options. So this is the network chart, and it can be activity on node, activity on arrow. You can also calculate on that, right? In this diagram we have the milestone, which are activities is nothing but, this is activity on arrow, right? Activity A, B, C, activity D, E, and F. So here you find the activities on arrow, not on node. So there are two more concept: activity on node, AON, and activity on arrow. All right, so fast track versus crash, network, pot network chart. So this is also known as the, well, so to evaluate the pot, you need to do, these are the activities which, 2 3 more slide, we are just in time today. So make sure that you are identifying all event. Once you identify the event, make the sequencing of this event. Once you sequencing, then prepare some kind of network diagramming method so that it will be visible. Estimate each and every task. This is what we did. Like, first make sure that what are the activities, then sequence the activities with whom after A we can go to the D, or we can even through go to E. So you need to sequence, estimate, and keep processing with that. Identify and then adjust. These are the kind of they find it out the critical path and adjust with based on the changes or the timeline defined for your product or the project. Well, let's not talk about the pot, but these are the step-by-step process. Okay, yesterday we already scoped that, the E and B to be the calculated, right? So variance. Okay. All right. So advantage of pot, good thing is that it is visible. Number one, make sure that or will ensure that there are not much wastage into the system. Visibility is good. Resource utilization would be good. It can be easily manageable because we have established the relationship. Like, I give an example. You remember that Pizza Hut guys, they deliver pizza within the time. The reason is that they clearly understood the entire end-to-end process. So that is the advantage of pot. Pot is nothing but your end-to-end stuff. Well, what are the different disadvantage, or what are the disadvantage of pot? Disadvantage of pod is that you need to, first of all, you need to have some tool where you can draw the diagram or take a pen and paper. If it is a pen and paper, then it is not a centralized, you need to upload to somewhere else. Yeah. Well, sometime what happened for a big project, the pod chart will be very big. It is nothing that, because there will be hundred or thousands of activities. So you cannot, it will be difficult for you to draw those activities on node or activity on arrow, or preparing the pod chart. Good. So this is what I already gave the example for the pod example. Optimistic is 20 minutes. I will reach on the time. If I get, if Biden allow me to get the supersonic, the jet, then optimistic I will take 20 minutes to make a quick round of the world. If Biden don't allow me to get those supersonic jet or whatever, and he allowed me to take some cruiser flight or something, then it may take 70 minutes to take a round of the world. Most likely, if I don't get anything and they just provide me a little bit on the jet only, fighter jet, it will take 40 minutes, right? So most likely average I may get this 40 minutes. So what is my main part is calculated is that within 42 minutes I can take a round of the entire world, which is the average. I can do that. So standard deviation is basically calculated is P minus O by 6, which is nothing but pessimistic minus optimistic by 6. In this case, 8.33 is the standard deviation. Right? So there is nothing much. Any questions and queries in this slide? Good. And then the last slide, it talks about decision tree analysis. For example, does it prevent cavities? No. Then reject. Yes. It is economical to use. Yes. Then is it good for children? Yes. Then is it available at the store? Like you need to ask the lot of decision tree. It is more or less similar to the another concept which is known as the Ishikawa diagram or fishbone diagram. Right. So we'll talk that at the later point. We have still, the okay. Good. So that's all from my side for today. Anything else we need to discuss? Any queries and questions? Okay. The question is that, thank you, Satya Rani. Yes, I'm thinking that, okay, Prabha, I'm thinking that gut is graphical and pot is okay. Somehow, okay. Yes, you are right. Is it like pot as well as the do? See, gut is basically graphical evaluation. It's a kind of visualization we are bringing it. But the calculation, programmable, as you said, pot is calculating, right? Okay, why 6? Because that's a good question you asked very quickly. 6 means, see, to reach out a consensus, like basically we take the extreme, two extreme, and in middle we are taking the 4 conditions, like 4 into most likely, right? There are 4. If I'm taking 4 most likely and then 1 optimistic and 1 pessimistic, total how many? 6. Then we have to divide it by 6. You should ask why not divided by 3? Then they should have asked like optimistic plus pessimistic plus 1 most likely divided by 3. They have taken more consideration that most likely the average case, that general case, one is very optimistic, one is very pessimistic, and rest 4 are most in general average case. So total 6 number, 4 plus 5 plus 6 divided by, that's how they have divided into the 6. Hope it's clear, Prava, like because there are 6 numbers, right? Optimistic 1, pessimistic 2, 4, most likely, total 6 divided. So that's how they've taken the average. Good, Prava, that good that you learned. It depends on the response time given by the system. So it is not correct, Pratap. Okay, it depends on the response time given by the system. Throughput. Yes, sometimes, yes, you are right. Because response time can also be, Srinivas, you are correct. PT by LT is correct. We discussed. Good. All right, team. So that's all from my side. If you have any queries, feel free to connect to me. You have my mail ID. Kiran and Gangadhar has shared with you, so you can just write an email to me. I'll be connected with LinkedIn and other profile. And if you need any help, support in terms of, you can always ping me to discuss what is the next step of course of actions, how you should learn and collect the materials or the document, whatever I shared from our team and the video materials. Good. You are most welcome, Prava, and everyone. Good night and wish you all a happy weekend. Stay safe, stay at home, and a happy weekend to everyone. See you on Monday, and I look forward to meet you Monday, same time, and we'll continue the rest of the Dixons. Thank you very much. Have a nice day, guys. Bye bye. Happy weekend to everyone. Good night and have a good day.